What's going on, everyone, over on the Crypto Kings YouTube channel? My name is Rob and I'm back with you guys again for another video. In this video we're going to be talking about some huge news regarding Shiba and a pretty big milestone that the coin recently crossed in terms of its community, and kind of the amount of holders that are now standing behind the coin, and kind of my thoughts on what this means for the coin as well as what it means for the future of this coin, right? So obviously, if you guys haven't been on Twitter, Shiba recently passed 600,000 holders on the Etherscan network alone. So that's, it's a significant climb from where we were just a few weeks ago, when the sell-off kind of happened for Ethereum and all these other coins. But 600,000 is a pretty impressive number and gives a decent amount of stability and community support to a coin that a lot of people did not believe would ever reach this point. Obviously, you have the ShibaSwap platform, which is now out and released. Went off for the most part without a hitch, and I believe this is kind of driving this uptick in users that you're kind of seeing on the Shiba Inu coin. And then you have the continual push of these of these altcoins as the general crypto market kind of climbs out of this hole that it's in. Let me just show you guys what's happened in the last few minutes, or the last few. It really is an ongoing thing, but what's happened with both Bitcoin and Ethereum. We are now about to cross $40,000 Bitcoin for the first time in a while, and I believe this is somewhat of a bullish indicator for all of the rest of the altcoins on the market, including Shiba and all these other altcoins that kind of follow the way Bitcoin and Ethereum move. Obviously, Bitcoin up 7% on the day, which is absolutely huge. And then a similar deal with Ethereum as well. I believe Ethereum's up 6% or something like that. I guess since it's crossed midnight now, it's only up 3%. But earlier today, it was up 6.5%. So this is very encouraging for these altcoins like Shib. And I believe seeing these kind of numbers, like 600,000 holders behind the coin, only kind of reinforce this idea that, hey, the altcoin run is not over yet, and we could eventually see a rebound for Shib. So I definitely think that there is a positive uptick coming on the charts. I think we've began to see that already. When you go ahead and look at that, the sentiment that I've seen after this announcement, as the community continues to grow both on Twitter and Reddit, has been overall pretty good. I'd say fantastic, and something that you don't really see with a ton of coins. The kind of pitfall that I noticed with a lot of these altcoins and a lot of these mainly utility coins is they aim to solve really big problems, right? And I can give you a few examples. But they aim to solve these really multi-billion-dollar problems, but they do not have the community behind them to actually to get into the mainstream and have their project get funded, right? So Shib obviously is more of a kind of a meme coin, with some a community backed kind of mantra, right? So obviously some of these more utility based coins kind of run into the problem of not having a support base quite like this does. But obviously Shiba aiming to solve some problems. The charitable coin, obviously a collectible coin looking to launch their own blockchain at some point in the future, and a ton of other projects down the pipeline, now has a community of over 600,000 people, and I really think that this is something that's going to help the coin survive of any potential purges that come in the future, and kind of want to be one of those altcoins that we talk about, as time moves on and things like that. So I just kind of wanted to talk about this main metric with you guys, because I do believe this is going to be something we look back on when we're kind of documenting the history of Shib, and say, hey, once it crossed the 500, the 600,000 holder mark, this is when it really became an official coin, one that you could hold and not be scared of just dumping randomly one day. Obviously, back in May when it did have that big dump, that was concerning, and I didn't think we'd see much more of the coin, but at this point I'm pretty confident that it is an altcoin that's going to stay around for a while at the bare minimum. Obviously, you guys can see as it crosses this threshold, the social volume on the social charts looks pretty good. The social volume on the 24 hours, I believe, is up 5.3%. Social dominance is up 42%. Bullish sentiment is up 11%, which obviously can be reflected in my voice, as I am extremely bullish on Shib right now. And as I've talked about in some of my more recent videos, I do think we're about to see a second spike in the overall price of Shib. As you guys can see, the social sentiment, which is the blue line right here that I'm hovering over, actually does have some peaks as the week kind of went on here. And I would guess that kind of coincides with the milestones that Shib was hitting, as well as the Binance investment that I talked about in my previous video, kind of driving social sentiment and driving everything regarding Shib. Now, obviously, some of these other metrics have also went up. Shared links and their Twitter volume, as well as their YouTube volume and news volume, have all went up, which I definitely think is something that is just a community builder and helps kind of solidify this base of holders that will ultimately stay with the coin, hopefully, and continue to make it one of the leading altcoins on the market for just just general trading, and continue to give success to the ShibaSwap platform. Now, this doesn't erase all of my worries. I definitely think there are some hurdles that Shiba still has to get over in order to be a successful utility coin in the future. But I do think this is a step in the right direction for the coin overall. When I kind of see these numbers, it gives me more confidence holding the amount of Shiba that I do hold, because it can be scary when you see these 8 to 10% drops in a day like this. But when you kind of see these announcements and kind of know that there are 599,000, however many other people out there in the same scenario as you who aren't selling, it's a nice feeling, and it really does bring confidence to an investor to see that kind of thing. So I do like to see the general movement of Shib. If you guys want to see kind of the more official chart when it comes to Shib, we can look at that. If you guys want to look at the week view, I believe we are still green on the week view. Obviously, this is probably the peak from the Binance investment right here. Things obviously had to simmer down from there. We are seeing a second and third kind of attempt at this old resistance line, a downward trending resistance line. And I have seen some people on Twitter and Reddit talking about this 0.09 number and 0.08 number, that we do have to break through to kind of get back to those May numbers and things like that. And I definitely think that's possible if the cards continue to fall in the right direction for Shib. I do think that it's going to be a project that will be around for a while, and I think that the exchanges that you have listing it right now, I believe we're gonna have a video going up very soon on the eToro listing that could be happening. eToro keeps teasing their listing of Shib. So I do believe that in the coming days and coming weeks, you are going to see these kind of these pumps for Shib as these exchanges keep listing the coin, and investors keep growing the coin, and you're going to see these 700, 800K numbers of holders. That's just going to solidify the base even more, bring more people to Twitter, bring more people to Reddit, and overall, at the end of the day, this is a community-backed coin, and it is something that having those holders and this kind of volume that you're seeing here with all the investors getting in and Binance getting in and all these other exchanges getting in, just kind of further solidifies the coin and gives it that opportunity to grow into a utility coin, which is ultimately what we all want to see happen with Shib. We all want to see it kind of expand past your average meme coin, community-based BS stuff. We want it to expand into a utility coin, and I believe ShibaSwap was a step in the right direction, and that's something I didn't really mention earlier that could have been another driving factor for moving more money into the Shiba token, as people are kind of moving over to ShibaSwap and getting into all the dig and the bone and the wolf and the berry, everything like that. I definitely think that this is another driving factor for kind of the money being put on the table right now for Shib when you really break it down and where the money is coming from. I believe before it was harder to buy the coin, but now with an exchange like this, it all it really requires is a MetaMask or Trust Wallet account and link to the ShibaSwap exchange. I definitely think it's easier now to get into Shiba, and is a reason you're seeing so much money kind of flow onto these exchanges. And it's just something that you do want to see. Now, obviously, if you guys haven't been following Twitter and Reddit, there's been a campaign to get Shiba listed on eToro and a few other platforms. And I do think that as the Shiba Army Reddit continues to grow, as well as the social sentiment that I kind of mentioned earlier on Twitter continues to grow, I definitely think you're going to see the price and the volume especially continue to spike, right? So I do not think that this is a kind of a fad. I think that the base that's behind Shiba right now is willing to kind of see it through into the utility phase, just based on you guys' comments, some of the polls we've ran recently, and kind of just judging some community sentiment on Reddit and a few other various social outlets. I do believe this is a coin that's here to stay, and I do believe that the utility of the coin will now be allowed that room to grow that it needs, kind of as time goes on. So that's really all I have for you guys today. I don't want to drag this video out too much longer. I definitely just wanted to kind of bring you guys this news as to the announcement about the 600K holders. It's something that you could have found out on your own if you're doing your own due diligence and kind of looking at the volume charts. But it's not something that everyone looks at, and I felt like you guys would definitely want to hear about this to kind of prejudge your investment and see where you stand at this given point in time. But I don't want to drag us on too much longer, guys. We do have some affiliate links down in the description for Binance, Coinbase, and eToro. If you guys want to go get invested in some crypto, specifically some Shib, I would definitely advise that at this given moment in time. As I do think, again, one more time to reiterate, that we are going to see some positive price movement in the weeks to come. And that's not just me, talking out of a YouTuber who talks about Shib a lot's, mouth. That's me saying, hey, I've looked at the charts, I've done my due diligence, and I do believe this is a coin that will have a good week. As to how any future news could affect the movement of the coin, I do not know. I'm not a financial advisor, as I do live in the United States. But I do think that we are going to see a good week for Shib as we kind of move into the middle of the week and into the weekend, especially, as that's usually when things kind of heat up for crypto towards the Fridays and the Mondays. And, when we move forward into this next week and the later portion of this week, I definitely think we're going to see what's really going to happen to this coin. And if you gave me the money to bet on it, I would seriously bet that we're going to see some upward price movement from Shib. Of course, I'll be making update videos to kind of tell you guys, hey, now it's time to price average this way, or do whatever. Updates kind of on the movement of Shib's price over the next few days. But I don't really want to drag this out too much longer, guys. I will be including some links down in the description, as I mentioned before. But yeah, it's been Rob. I'll see you guys in a future video.